Yeah. So I have my first question is like, how do you feel about being back in the classroom? Like, how long has it been since you walk into this classroom, in this building?
Yeah, so the last time I walked into this building was back in 2016, my last year in undergrad. I was not exactly a fan of this building, but now when I come back again as a non-student, I feel like all my good memory resonate here.
Nice, yeah. So this is a Cine Smith, and it's one of the meeting room. Yeah, I also have so many second year classes here, like introduction to econometrics, something here. So yeah. So the second question will be like introduce yourself, like also including your academic background and you're currently located at.
Yeah, sure. So I'm currently located in Toronto, Canada, for the past 12, 13 years. So I started my journey in Canada as an international student. Uh, so I study actuarial science and economics at U of T, St. Michael's College. So I really enjoy my time studying here. I wouldn't say I was the top on the class, but I had the honor study with all the great students around the world in the same classroom and been able to uh, learn from all the intelligence in the class.
That's great. Yeah, same. I am doing math, so like all the students, like they're very intimidating to me as well. So this question will be like, how has your education in economics, including the courses you have taken, and your degree influenced your daily life and the professional tasks?
Yeah, I would say that major in economies as a degree was a good plus to our living journey, especially for us to take the first step to understand the whole macro and microeconomics in different countries. Like more international perspective was gained during this time. Also, it lays a good foundation for me to continue to explore on the business world, especially after the undergrad period.
Right, yeah. And then how do you think like economic principles or some skills have shaped your like decision making or problem solving?
Yeah, so I think one very critical lesson I learned is about using data to drive analytical decision making, especially when supporting our own day-to-day living planning and also in our business day-to-day execution. We're able to incorporate this mindset to support the business leaderships to execute an effective business strategy.
Yeah.
So that it actually help us also to improve our logical way of communicating findings and drive meaningful progress and result.
Right, that's true. What kind of courses you were taking like in your undergrad? I know you have a mix with actual science, but like there are so many courses offering economics program. Like what aspect do you focus on more?
Yeah, so I took all the compulsory lessons of economics for sure to just to get a degree, and also I take several history classes to understand from both the historical and economical perspective how human society actually evolve. So I would rather to balance both the technical and non-technical side to just not just for the personal growth and also to cultivate into a more well-rounded kind of mindset to whenever uh, whenever we try to understand newly innovative stuff.
Right. Yeah. And then I also seen like you have taken like a master degree, and then just curious like what motivated you to like pursue another degree, and then is it like for skill development, for higher education, or any other reason?
Yeah, so the degree was taken at the business school at Queen's University, but I believe Rodman of U of T also offers the same degree, which is the Master of Management Analytics. So that is actually a technical version of MBA driven by data analytics that really is very insightful and helpful for especially people from the industry has a higher kind of understanding and how to uh, use analytical and data approach to drive insightful results. And I'll say continuing learning is a lifelong process. It's not just one degree or two. It's about an attitude and also a perspective, like a mindset everybody needs to uh, embrace nowadays, especially when technologies and also knowledge explodes.
Yeah, that's true. I also like I have some friends. They're also upcoming graduate and trying to like, should I find a job or should I continue studying? And then so kind of like this question about like for students who debate whether to find a job, continue studying, or return to school after a few years, like you probably not doing directly right after your undergrad. So like what advice would you give them? Like how should they evaluate these decisions properly?
Students nowadays has a very different opinion than what the student looks like 10 years ago. But I would encourage them to try on different options, especially when they are offer such availability, and also they're free to do so when they were still in early age, no matter whether that's a career path to pursue or a entrepreneurship to pursue. So I would encourage students always to try on both and keep the door open.
And also like looking back to around like 2016 when you graduated, how did you like navigate your early career? Because like a lot of people like me also confused like which role should I get in, which company should I get in? Can you share some of the challenges or efforts or experiences from that time?
Yeah, sure. So back in the time, I was international students, not speaking perfect English, not even now. But I would say because I kept my option open, so I wouldn't say I want to be exact positions in a certain company. I would say I would take the first offer whenever it comes to me the first. So that's how I landed my first job after school. It took me like 3 hours commute every day back to back, but I think it was a very valuable experience to me, especially to the overall growth. Standing 10 years later, I wouldn't think that I would be able to do the same. So I really admire all the courages of the youth and also the intelligence of the young people to try on different things and accept all the challenges.
Yeah, what was your first job?
So my first job was a clerical job in an American insurance company with its office in Canada. So I have to commute from Union Station all the way to the center of Markham by TTC and walking. So it was very challenging because of the commute mostly. And I didn't doing anything cutting edge at the job at all. I was counting paper by hand, and I got a lot of paper cuts on my fingers.
Yeah, that's true. Also, like back days, you have to work at a full week, right? There's no such a working home.
Yeah, so I have to commute 5 days a week with TTC. I wouldn't even spend money on myself to take Uber. So that is the courageous from the young brain.
I kind of see like go through your profile, like you have quite well like insurance or banking industry in Canada. Like how has your like having a degree in economics or actual science helped you navigate your career in this field?
So like I said, I will just accept any offers that comes to the first, and this kind of job hunting module goes on for several years because I believe whichever comes the first should be the most likable.
Yeah.
Although maybe it's not the top offer, but I appreciate which comes the first.
Yeah.
This has not been backed by any kind of analytical modeling. This is only backed by like a trust and like a sense of hope, because I think the students nowadays, they're not lacking any kind of technical advice, non-technical advice. They are only lacking a faith or a hope. So I believe they can all do well once they are put into the right track. But to start a journey, they need hope and trust.
That's true. Trust, like in terms of trust who?
They need to trust themselves for sure. They also need to trust the people that they work together and also they study together, because this kind of friendship in the university will not happen again after graduate. So cherish whatever is surrounded by all the talents surrounded, and also to appreciate all the hardship if you're really experiencing it as a student.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, right. And then so kind of like another unrelated question. I also see like a post like mentioning you're a marathon runner.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit more about your experience with running and what inspired you to do so? I saw you prepare for like 3,000 kilometers. That's crazy.
Yeah, I even have the pin wearing today. It says 26.2 marathon runners. That's a gift after I finished my first full. Last October in the waterfront race. But speaking of the journey, it was actually inspired by a friend, because actually it's a group of friends because during COVID, most of us got lockdowns at home, and we were isolated, and our health, both mentally and physically, wasn't in good shape. So in the early 2022, some smart guy from the group of friends suggest that we need to run a 5K, and I said I don't want to die in front of the whole Toronto people.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I'm an actionist, so after he suggested that, I actually start running it the week after. So that's how I started my first 5K, and then I hit my first 10K a week after, and then I hit my first half marathon 1 year after I start running. So this is now a very important portion of my living now. And also that's like a cute advice that I would like to offer to the student is that studying is important, working is important, but finding the point of interest and also finding what you really love, maybe not, which is not like profit generating, but finding what you love and what inspires you the most is very important, and it will help you to manage a lot of hardship in your life later, surprisingly.
That's true. Yeah, like for me, I totally agree with you. Like I think during university life, it's very busy. Like you want to try something different, and then suddenly you have a 2,000 words assignment due, and like develop a hobby, join some clubs, student clubs, and then to meet more people, I guess.
Yeah, that's very good suggestions. And like I said, everybody needs to find their hobbies, what they really inspire to do, and also keep the critical path secure for sure.
Yeah.
Because being financially responsible is the foundation of everything else.
That's true, yeah. But meantime, you also need to have a good mentality, and then you can be more believe or more trusting yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just looking at a laptop and then hit the job application button.
No, that's just a very small portion. And even if for the students under this kind of economic climate, they're not getting exactly immediately what they're looking for, I wouldn't suggest, I would tell them to keep the hope and faith, because things are not easy for anybody, not for the experience, not for the new grad. It's hard for everybody. So if you're not getting what you think you deserve to get, take the time, because this is just what's happening around the world now. Right. And you don't have to overblame yourself for something you cannot control.
That's true, yeah. That's actually, you gave a lot of advice. My next section is like about the advice section.
Okay.
But like you have two different targets. The first target is like for students who are interested in studying economics. So what advice would you give to the students who are interested in it, and then what should their expectations be in their like next 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, just trying to translate what you learn into something you really want to work towards, because that kind of transformation is critical to help yourself navigate as to what you really want to become of. And as to what you want to become of can change over time as we become more mature. Even for myself, like after working in the industry for almost 10 years, I'm still trying to figure out what the next step and what I really want to become of.
That's so true, yeah. Even for me, I wasn't even planning to get into economics. I thought I'm gonna fail the introduction courses.
Yeah, the Econ 100, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is a tricky one. Maybe I shouldn't be talking too much, but I think, I just honestly think that is a good course to lay the foundation for many of the other programs. And I understand for some of the competing programs, they have some minimum entry mark.
Yeah.
So if you're not getting what you want exactly at this moment, don't fear yourself. You either keep trying or you make the strategic pivot to find what you're really good at.
In the beginning, I said like I wasn't even sure, but now I'm actually more in love with economics. I feel like even though I'm not getting the good grades from my courses, but I still believe like taking, for example, behavioral economics or a lot of like other data analytics economic courses like really help the way of us thinking.
Yeah. I mean, learning all the knowledge is also the way to learn yourself, learn your mindset, and also trying to adjust it and to adapt to the new ecosystem.
Another target is like for upcoming graduates, like it will be like me and other students. Like, what suggestion do you have for them? Like, how should they find their interests and then navigate the highly competitive job market at the same time to, you know, just calm themselves down?
Yeah, so like I'm so humble that I'm being asked to give advice, but like I said, they don't need advice. They can nowadays, like all the information is very accessible through internet, through social media, through all different sources. I think what the student needs to do is to really to streamline all this information and transform into the pattern that they can consume the best for themselves. So when I say consume the best, what I mean is they need to understand how to prioritize their mental well-being and physical well-being, given this many kind of distractions of information. So I think that is the hot topic for many of the younger generations. How to streamline and how to stay focused despite the many distractions of the information floating around.
That's true, yeah. There are a lot of information and plus the social media.
I believe in the younger generation that they can create even something more magnificent than the previous generation as thing, because like I mean human society are supposed to keep evolving and keep progressing. So seeing the later like the younger generation kind of outperform is a great news to the overall society.
Right.
So that's the big picture that I would like to encourage and focus on, and that's why I am motivated to support them better. Although I'm not in an absolute dominant position to support everybody, but I'm happy to help because when I was a student, I got a lot of help from the mentors, from the senior peers as well.
Yeah.
And we still have that kind of synergy as we go.
That's true, yeah. So the last question will be like, is there anything else you would like to add, like perhaps any advice or words or wishes, encouragement to all the like our potential audience?
Yeah. So trust yourself, believe in the faith, and also support each other, because eventually you cannot go down the path just by yourself. You need all the amazing talents and people surround you. You need friends, you need families. So I understand knowledge is important. Being technical is also important, and also finding the trick to land the first job is important. But really, what I would like to share is about how to stay true to yourself, stay true to the people surrounding you, and be a decent person at the beginning, at the end.
Yeah, at the beginning as well. Decent.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's all my questions, and
Wow.
thank you so much.
My pleasure, and wish you all the best.
Yes. Bye bye.